Welcome, travelers, to High Fantasy. I'm Brett. I clapped and I shouldn't have clapped. You got me clapping. I need my herb pouch. Daddy's been paying for my salt.
This
I'm part of the poop patrol, ma'am.
And I'm Emily. But I'm like, don't make the robots.
Crunch.
I would take Speak with Dinosaur in a second. I have beef with DC. It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Join us on our epic world-spanning adventures. Armed with only a bit of long-bottom leaf, we will delve into some of the most amazing worlds of imagination that have ever existed. Before we get into that, don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to support the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it.
You can clap. You can.
Yay!
Hello, merry travelers.
Hello, merry travelers.
And welcome to High Fantasy. I'm Emily.
And I'm Brett.
This feels weird.
It should, because it's like a reverse.
Let's just take a second and say that this feels weird. Well, hello, merry travelers. We on our... I am bad at this. We are on our final episode of the Halloween special. This theoretically should be airing on Halloween itself, so... Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!
Really quickly, before we get into the episode, we want to thank our lovely, lovely patrons, Clancy Bloom, Enslaved by the Fae, and Minnie, for your support. And if you want to get your episodes a whole week early, including a very special, I think, extra short video, for Halloween specifically, that should be out on Patreon today.
Ooh.
You can go check out our Patreon. The link should be in the description of all of these videos.
I love it.
So, without further ado, we just recorded an episode before this, so excuse me.
Little giggly.
Ahead of time. Excuse me ahead of time. I'm not used to being the host. This is weird. So, today we are going to be talking about spooky things.
Spooky things. Halloween!
I love all things spooky. Halloween has been my favorite holiday since before I can remember holidays. Since literally forever. I love all things spooky. I grew up watching Ghost Hunters. Me and my friends used to listen to creepypastas. And I love listening to true ghost stories.
Is Ghost Hunters a series?
I cannot believe you just asked me that question. Ghost Hunters is a TV show from the early 2000s. It was basically, they were plumbers by day and ghost hunters by night. And this was a TV show. It was the original reality TV show of people real life ghost hunting.
Mario and Luigi out here hunting Casper.
I believe they worked for like Roto-Rooters.
Mr. Roto-Rooter, man, I have a terrible ghost story. I need you to help me.
And then by night, literally their ghost hunting van looked the exact same as a plumber van, but it said Taps on the side. Because their ghost hunting company was Taps Ghost Hunting.
Could you imagine your plumber comes to like fix your toilet and he's just like, yeah, a lot of bad energy in here. Like with a plunger over their shoulder, just like...
It wasn't mutually exclusive. It just, like, showed them at their day jobs at the beginning of every episode, being like, we had to go fix a toilet, and then we're gonna go to this super haunted hotel in a different state.
It's so funny to me. Like, that's one of the ways they're drumming up clients.
This episode is not about ghost hunters, just so everybody is very clear.
Like you said it made me think of the supernatural ghost facers, and I just had to. I had to ask.
Very similar setup with less real ghost encounters. Okay.
I had fun with that.
That was great, but I love ghost stories, especially real life ghost stories. And to me, there is nothing creepier and also more endearing than a good old haunted doll. So what are some of the iconic haunted dolls that you think of?
Annabelle is obviously huge when I think about the real life ones that come to
Even film
mind.
ones, like, because there's, like,
I
Chucky.
was just about to say Chucky is the biggest one when I think of like fantasy film because that's like the huge horror thing. Is like,
Uh-huh.
and the Chucky franchise was huge, but also Slappy.
Uh-huh.
Slappy's another one from the Goosebumps
Yep, Slappy, yep.
series, the dummy. But the dummy is a pretty big one. I think like
Yeah,
when
like
you're
a
having the
ventriloquist
haunted, it's the
dummy.
freaking ventriloquist dummy that gets you like every time.
Even Annabelle, they made it so she had that sort of, like, posable mouth in the
Oh, it's
Conjuring collection.
so
It's
creepy.
terrifying. Well, how would you like to hear about the real-life haunted doll that inspired Chucky, as well as the design of the Annabelle doll?
Oh no. This inspired Chucky?
This is a real-life haunted doll
Oh,
that was an
hell.
inspiration behind Chucky.
Okay.
His name is Robert the Doll.
Robert. Okay.
Have you ever heard of Robert the Doll before?
I have never heard of Robert the Doll other than when you were telling me Robert the Doll.
Other
And
than,
that's
so
all
have
you
you
gave
heard of
me. You
this?
just said there's this doll and he's like haunted and his name's Robert the Doll and this is a creepy pasta.
So this is not a
This is
creepy
not this is a
pasta.
real actual
So
story.
I love creepypasta, and I am going to be reading the first creepypasta that I ever experienced ever in my life back in 2012 is when it came out when I was doing the research. That is going to be the story we are reading over on the Patreon, but that's going to be the extra episode.
Oh my gosh. I was a wee lad of 18.
I was 14.
This actually is crazy. This would have
Uh-huh.
happened almost around the same time of my car accident.
Maybe it
Was when
was
you saw this
was when I
creepy little doll
read
down there
my
cutting my brake lines.
So, Robert the Doll is not a creepypasta. This is a real life haunted doll that actually lives in a museum to this day.
Okay.
So, this story dates back to the early 1900s when a little boy named Eugene Robert Otto was given a one of a kind handmade doll by a servant that worked for his parents.
Otto, you need to get the out of there, dude. Sorry, Otto, you need to get the heck out of there, dude.
So Eugene, who goes by Gene, so we're gonna call him Gene for the rest of this story, decided to call his doll Robert, his own middle name,
Roberto.
because he became very attached to this doll very quickly.
Oh, did he?
He loved this doll.
Uh-huh.
Now the home that Gene and Robert lived in is now called the Artist House, and it's located in Key West, Florida. This house,
In Key West?
Key West, Florida.
Wow, that's a good spot in Florida,
Right.
right? People want to go to Key West? That's
I
where I
feel
always
like
hear.
I feel like that's one of the retirement home
Oh, is it?
places, but I don't
it's
know.
a good spot.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's a retirement place, you'd
right.
expect it
It's
to be
not
really
like
good.
in the swamps, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, nice beaches.
This is like exactly beach territory.
Cool.
So this house was built between 1890 and 1898. So it's an old house, and
Oh, we love it. Good bones.
oh yeah, in this house, Robert and Jean grew a lifelong friendship.
Oh, how long was this life?
Surprisingly decent.
Okay, good.
So let's talk about Robert first. So Robert is a cloth doll. He is about 40 inches tall and he's stuffed with wood wool.
Holy crap.
Robert wears a sailor suit that used to belong to Jean. And before it faded over time, Robert had the painted features of a jester on his face. Now the paint's faded and you can just see the remnants of what is eyes and a mouth.
Okay, when you said doll, I thought like little doll that
Yep.
people would like carry with them. That's what, like almost 4 feet?
So people have actually speculated because of its size that it was specifically modeled to look like Jean.
When he first got it.
Yep,
Oh
when
my
he was-
gosh,
When
dude,
he was
what?
first receiving the doll, they think that it was specifically modeled to look like Jean. So it wasn't long before Robert started becoming involved in some strange events.
Oh, yeah?
The first notable experience that happened with Robert was when Jean was only 10 years old.
Oh, I'm already distressed.
So Jean awoke in the middle of the night to find Robert sitting at the foot of his bed staring at him.
Oh, did he?
Moments later, Jean's mother was awoken by the sound of screams. It was Jean begging for help over the banging and crashing sounds of overturning furniture in her son's bedroom. When Jean's mother was finally able to rip open the door, she found Jean curled up on the corner of his bed. The rest of the room was in shambles around him, and Robert the doll was sitting at the end of his bed. All Jean could say was Robert did it.
Oh, hell. Nuh-uh.
Isn't that awful?
If this happens to our kid, know now that doll is going in the nearest incinerator. We're done. I will cleanse it with holy fire if I need to.
So, this would become a very common occurrence in the household.
Of course.
Strange and mysterious destructive events would occur, and Jean would consistently say that it was Robert. Now, nobody has been able to prove one way or another how or if this doll was the cause of these events. Like, after all, it's a child's toy. How can a child's toy wreak this much havoc? But that did not stop the strange and unusual from happening. Jean's parents would hear their son speaking to Robert from his playroom, and then hear, in a voice that they had never heard before, that didn't sound like their son, vivid responses. They reported not only witnessing the doll speak, but also reported that they would see its expression change. There was also reports of hearing Robert giggle while running up the stairs and even peering out the upstairs window.
Can you imagine how creepy that would be? Like, you're washing your kid's little doll that he keeps around not little, it's huge.
Yeah.
But, like, that thing had to be washed, right? And so, like, as over time the paint's changing, and you're like, I swore this thing was smiling, and now it looks like it's frowning.
Yep.
But then there's the question of, like, did he do these acts for, like, attention? Was he trying to, like, get people to, to notice him? And then he's like, he did it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Right, exactly.
But then there's the question of, like, she actively heard overturning furniture and the room was messed up.
And he was
This
in his
kid
bed.
was 10.
He was 10.
So, like, hardly any 10-year-old's gonna be over there flipping, like, and especially back then, good furniture was heavy. All that stuff was wood. Like, solid wood stuff. So it's crazy to think that he managed to destroy his own room, keep the door barred so his mom couldn't get in, and then also end up back on the bed at the exact time that she came in. Because, like, I could see him if you managed to do it right, and then you're in the bed, it's like, it wasn't me, it couldn't have been. But it's not like she wasn't trying to get in the whole time. So even if he was there holding the door shut so she couldn't get in, which you can overpower a 10-year-old child, I would hope, but then there's something keeping that door closed while also something is messing up the room. So it's like, ooh, that's creepy.
Right, and then just, like, the facial expression changing, that's hard because it's a cloth doll. How does a facial expression change on a cloth doll was what I was asking when I was seeing this, but also a lot of, like, seeing somebody's facial expression comes from, like, emotion. So it's like, is this doll's face changing, or are you seeing something that's not actually there?
Exactly. Good questions.
So, despite all of these objectively horrifying stories, Jean and Robert remained thick as thieves. Jean grew up and even found himself a wife, all while keeping Robert safe by his side.
What the hell?
And when Jean's parents eventually passed away, Jean moved back into his childhood home and decided Robert needed his own room at the top of the house with a nice view looking over the streets.
Who did he find? Okay, do you know how... Just reverse that. Reverse that. Let's say it's a girl. Alright? If there was some random woman that you were dating that was just like, and this is Sally, and she needs her own room in our house.
That's not weird.
Oh my...
You have your action figures.
If you want to display them because you're like, they look really cool, that's one thing. If you've given it a whole personality and you act like it's alive and needs its own living space, that's messed up, dude.
Well, Jean's wife, Anne, did not like Robert.
Oh, good.
So she could not put her finger on it, but she just did not like this doll. And to be fair, this is back in the day. Dolls were a lot more normal back then.
Sure.
Like, those were the primary toy. Like, instead of baby blankets, it was, look at this doll from my childhood. But she just did not like this doll. She couldn't put her finger on it. And so she told Gene that he needed to put Robert in the attic where he could do no harm. And Gene finally conceded and put Robert in the attic. As you can probably imagine, though, Robert was not very happy about this move.
No. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
So guests of the home began hearing footsteps in the attic, very specifically pacing back and forth in combination with devilish laughter.
Oh.
Not only that, but neighborhood children began telling stories of how they could see Robert in the upstairs window and how he would even mock them as they were walking to school. Once word got back to Gene of Robert being seen in the upstairs window, he immediately went to go investigate because he had locked Robert in the attic. There's no way Robert could be in the upstairs room. So he ended up going up, opening up the door to the upstairs bedroom, and there was Robert sitting in a rocking chair looking out the window.
Oh. Oh, man.
So this led to Gene locking Robert in the upstairs attic consistently several more times, but every single time he would lock Robert away in the attic, he would find him back in the upstairs bedroom.
What does this relationship look like to this guy? You know, like
is this a good relationship with Robert at this point?
Yeah, because like you would think if he's keeping Robert around, he must still feel attached to him. But also, he's actively putting this, doll with a personality into basically timeout. Like, you wouldn't lock your dog in the attic. You know what I mean? So he can't think that they have a good relationship at this point where he's like...
His wife told him to, put the doll in the attic, and he was just like... So if he has some sort of inclination that Robert is a physical being, enough that he wants to keep it with him, this feels like a bad move on Gene's part.
Because if this happened, why would you not, if you're gonna keep him around, be like, sorry about that, Robert.
Just, here's your upstairs bedroom.
It's been a while. I apologize, man. Like, enjoy the bedroom. This is your bedroom. We're not going to talk about this again.
You got this. This is for you.
This is all for you.
So
why would you antagonize him?
Right, it feels antagonizing.
And he knows he can get out.
It's
what
just
an
gonna
idiot.
keep happening.
What an idiot. Okay.
So eventually Gene did pass away in 1974, and a new owner moved into the artist house with their 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, no.
Now, originally, their daughter was delighted to find Robert the doll. What little kid doesn't want a free toy? But that delight quickly faded when the daughter started claiming that Robert was alive and her new doll wanted to hurt her. The daughter frequently woke up in the middle of the night, screaming, claiming that Robert was moving around in the room on his own. So, obviously, this new family comes in, they get the doll, and it wasn't long before they gave Robert away to where he now lives, in the East Martello Fort, and he is on display at a museum, where visitors from all over the world can come and visit him.
Oh.
So, we're gonna go really quickly. We're gonna kind of... That's basically the history of Robert the doll and kind of where he is now.
Okay.
We're gonna go to kind of where people think Robert came from. So many believe that Robert's ominous origin stems from the servant who originally gave Gene the doll. The servant who made Robert was said to be mistreated, and it is believed that she used a form of voodoo or black magic to curse the doll as a punishment or revenge. It would explain many of the strange occurrences that surround Robert, but people have asked the question that, if this is a curse, why didn't it go away after the deaths of the original owners? Nobody truly knows the answer of why Robert is the way he is, but one thing that has remained constant is that Robert the doll continues to frighten and taunt those who dare to come and visit him. Staff members report that they see Robert's facial expressions change, they hear demonic giggling, and they even find Robert having moved to press his hands on the glass encasing him.
Oh, hell no.
He especially likes to target museum guests who attempt to take photos of him. This occurrence is so common, it has even gone past just visitors to visit him at the museum. There are even reports of his torment coming from people who have simply looked at his picture, emailed him, or have been speaking about him to a friend.
Oh. Sweet.
Love you.
Love you.
So
I swear, if the reason I felt like I was being watched
it was Robert the
was
doll.
because you've been talking about Robert the doll. So help me if I find a doll in this house.
Look, the biggest thing is to just be respectful about it.
Uh-huh.
So don't claim that you can punch Robert in the face, because we all know you can't, and that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So, some of the things that happen to museum visitors is cameras have a tendency to become fully inoperable when around Robert, and only to be completely fine after leaving the museum and aren't in his presence anymore.
Okay.
He has been known to curse those who disrespect him with bad luck. So much so that, in fact, Robert gets sent letters on the daily apologizing to him, asking for forgiveness for him to stop tormenting them.
What?
So here are the rules that they
Oh.
tell you when visiting Robert the doll. The hard rules are this: just be respectful and ask permission before taking photos. The soft rules include introducing yourself and saying goodbye when you leave, and always apologize when you make a mistake. Now, some of the things that can happen if you do disrespect Robert are big. But a lot of times with just like pictures and that sort of thing, people have been like, it's not that bad. Maybe it's just like you feel uncomfortable or like your chest starts to hurt a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. These mostly happen to people who physically visit Robert. Um Obviously he's been sent hundreds of thousands of letters at this point, so it's a broad spectrum, but some of these punishments have ranged from just plain bad luck to job loss, divorce, car accidents, broken bones, and even death. There is one account of a man who decided it would be funny to bang his hands on the glass enclosure of Robert the doll, and later that same day he would die in a motorcycle accident.
Oh. Roberto?
So, obviously, when you're asking a doll permission for things like taking a picture, it's kind of hard to get a response. So, people have claimed that a glint in Robert's eye is a good sign and that it's okay to take the picture, and other people have claimed to experience pains in their chest when asking permission as a negative response. And with all of that being said, what are your thoughts on Robert the doll?
Oh man. This is wild.
Uh-huh.
This is wild to me. So this inspired Chucky.
Yes. I do have a picture of Robert the doll if you would like to see him, but I want to get your consent first.
Sure, I'll see Roberto.
It's Robert. Respect his name. So this is Robert the doll.
Oh man. Okay. Not what I was expecting.
Right?
That's interesting. Okay. So obviously, like there's a lot of questions, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because superstition exists for sure. Um, but the question is like one of the things I would love to test would be the changing in the photo.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so interesting to me
Mm-hmm.
to be able. So what I think I would do is I would take a photo and hopefully like a Polaroid, and then I would take another photo of the photo
Uh-huh.
with a Polaroid, and I would check both of them against each other probably daily
Uh-huh.
for a long time. Just be like, does it change?
Right.
Like, hold on. Like, no, it's the same photo. Okay, you know.
Right.
But that would be such an that would be such a mind freak for me
Uh-huh.
if one day I looked at the photo and it was different than the other photo.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Oh yeah.
That would be I don't know how I'd feel.
And like there is like it's a very broad spectrum Right? So, like, there are the people who say, I went and visited Robert the doll in the museum and I called him a butthole and now my life is great. So, this is a hoax. And then there are the people who swear by, I went and visited Robert the doll and then my life turned to absolute garbage, which that is one of the things I do have. I have some real life accounts of people who visited Robert the doll.
Okay.
And I also have the letters that people have sent Robert the doll
Oh,
for us
man.
to read through, too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would be very excited to like because again, I'm a
Mhm.
skeptic,
Yeah,
but I err on the side of why do something unless,
exactly.
to
Like,
like to provoke it.
it's very easy to say, like, okay, well, everybody has bad times. Maybe you just visited Robert the doll and then you just had some bad luck in your life. Like, that's just a coincidence. That doesn't mean that this thing is doing it to you specifically.
Hmm.
But why take that chance?
I'm also a big believer in like the idea of psyching yourself out.
Yeah.
And so if you believe 100% that you're going to have a bad day because you stepped under a ladder or a
Uh-huh.
black cat crossed your path or any of the thousand superstitions that give you bad luck,
Mm-hmm.
if you believe it, I guarantee you're going to experience it.
Uh-huh.
Because you're constantly now in your mind saying to yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna have bad luck. I'm gonna have bad luck. I'm gonna have bad luck. I'm gonna have bad luck," and then you do
Uh-huh.
because any small thing becomes a huge verification of like, "Oh, see, I told you I was gonna have bad luck, and I just spilled my drink.
Yep.
I told you I was gonna have bad luck, and I lost $5. Like
Yeah.
gambling or whatever. You're gonna now put that on everything that's happening, and you'll be like,
Everything.
the only reason that I lost when I went gambling today was because that black cat ran in front of me before I
Mm-hmm.
got here, or because I broke a window yesterday, or like a
Yeah.
mirror. And so it's such an interesting idea to think to yourself like, I will have bad luck if this happens,
Uh-huh.
and then see that manifest itself through your own interpretation of what bad luck looks
Right,
like.
because this is like obviously a doll at a museum. Like, this is a lot different than like being the person to live in the household with it and be like, I know I locked him in the attic and he is not in the attic anymore.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that's one person, and
Hmm.
can you trust what that one person is saying, you know?
Yeah, and so I try to be very respectful no matter what, just because I
Uh-huh.
feel like that is the polite thing to do.
Yeah.
Even if you don't necessarily believe it, I still think it's the polite thing to do. Now,
Yeah.
again, not to say I haven't done stuff like I poked my finger through a fairy ring, in the
Yeah, he
forest,
did.
and that was something that frustrated, because it was like, oh my gosh, you're asking for trouble. Like, what? Why would you
Oh.
do that? What are you doing?
For somebody who says he errs on the side of caution a lot.
But I do err on the side of caution, but sometimes curiosity does get you. Like
A curiosity
you're
is a
like, I
huge
want to
thing.
see it. I want to see what happens. Like, is this real? I want to see the fairy.
Is it real
And then
or
you're
is
like,
it
whoa,
not
whoa, whoa, whoa.
real?
The second it does happen, that's how we get the inspiration for horror movies.
Exactly. Like, that is you are the person dying in the horror. I am constantly told that I'm the one who makes bad horror movie decisions, and to be fair, I am. But
Also, to be fair, I did that one time. I haven't played with a Ouija board. I never ask spirits for attention or attraction. I don't go to bridges and call demons dummies. You know? You know.
moving on. There was only like 2 of those 5 that I
That I have actively done. That's fine.
Okay, so those are kind of like, that's Robert the Doll's origin, where he's at now, some of the theories behind him, and I do have some stories if you would like to hear
I'd
them.
love to hear them.
So we're going to start with the stories, and then I would like to read you some of the letters that are sent to him.
Yeah.
And some of these are actually posted on his display in the museum on his wall, and there's actually a wall where you can write to him yourself
Oh, wow.
and leave him messages. So here are some of the stories. This is all from Reddit, so take that as you will.
Uh-huh.
So this one is, back in 2017, I was 14 when I went to Florida with my family for 3 weeks of beaches, pools, restaurants, and local food. The kind of holidays I would never live again. And one evening, I was on YouTube and I was watching a video of Squeezy, my favorite videographer at the time, and in this video, he was telling the well-known story of Robert the Doll. They go on to kind of retell the story that I've already told you here.
Uh-huh.
So we are going to skip past that. At the end of the video, Squeezy announces that the doll can now be seen in a museum in the United States at the Art and Historical Museum of Key West, Florida. Stunned by this news, I looked to see if this information was true, and God, it was. I immediately told my parents, asking them if we would be passing through Key West on the trip, and of course, it was the last 3 days just before returning to France. We would make the diversion to Key West, so it was decided I would meet the Robert doll in the last full day of our trip.
Oh, wow. So these are French people.
These are French people visiting Florida who just so happened to find out about Robert the doll right as they're in that area.
They're excited about it. So, yeah, let's check it
So
out.
they're going to go visit the Robert doll. Key West is the southernmost city in the United States. You have to take a highway bordered on both sides by the ocean, so it's an extremely isolated pre-island. As a result, the local folklore is to say Robert did it. The last day... Wait, hold on, what? Sorry. As a result, the local folklore is extremely strong, and Robert is known to all besides. To justify a mistake, the local children used to say Robert did it. The last day came, and with excitement, my family and I set off for the museum. It was a very dilapidated and unwelcoming fort, hollowed out by time, the wind, and the sea, with seagulls eating the corpses of their siblings in the parking lot.
Okay.
That was an unnecessary
so
creepy
graphic.
detail. It was very creepy detail,
Wow,
Reddit
all
user.
right, all right.
We love it.
We love it.
We enter, and a red-headed lady in her 50s is at the reception. We talk to her to find out about the museum and incidentally to find out about Robert from the most qualified person, the museum guard. There we don't joke. Sorry, this is...
Oh, you're good.
I'm pretty sure because they were French, it's not like the most clear English, but...
Yeah, not their first language.
Exactly. There, we don't joke with Robert to take a picture of him. You have to ask him a question and wait for his answer. Some say that a bright reflection in his black eyes means a positive answer. The lady warns us that some people weakly disrespect the doll, and it ends up sending a letter of apology to Robert at the museum, so he will stop the mischief. She adds that there is a video of a man hitting Robert doll's glass, and that man later died on a road accident.
That's insane.
Little French that I was, naively asked if I could ask Robert to take a picture of him, as advised, in French, in a foreign language. And what did the lady reply? Try it out, you will be the first. So they started the visit. My family and I were really enchanted. We were like crazy. We explored all the corners of the fort in search of Robert, apprehending all of the same as our meeting. We passed old cannons, military costumes, old rusty weapons, and as we turned down a hallway on our right, there he is, Robert, the century-old doll, accused of being the reason of multiple unexplained deaths in Key West, the inspiration of Annabelle and Chucky dolls, the main subject of Squeezy's horror video. Here we are, face to face. The doll is tall, sitting on a chair, and enclosed in a glass cage. Behind him, letters of apology from multiple countries, Mexico, Germany, Qatar, all written in English, and imploring Robert to break the curse he cast on them, which dissuaded us being impolite. I take my courage in both hands and say, "Hello, Robert. I am from France and will be delighted to take you in picture. Could I?" In French, a word first. I take a picture of him and send it to all of my friends via Snapchat to show that I was the bravest, reckless, kid of my generation.
Ooh.
With my photo taken, we hurriedly finished our visit and returned to the hotel. The next day, the day of the big departure, we don't have breakfast because of a lack of time, pack our bags, and climb into the car to Miami, where we'll take a plane to France in the afternoon. At 11 o'clock in the morning, we come across a Wendy's, a fast food specialized in breakfast, so we stop there to eat. We sit down, order, wait, receive, eat, and pay for our order. When we finish our meal, we go back to our car, and we are shocked to find it in a really abnormal state. All of the windows are broken, except the front one. There is glass inside our car, as much as outside, meaning that the windows exploded and were not smashed from the outside. And more disturbing, our suitcases are intact. My headphones, that were on the back of the seat are still on the same place they were when I left them. We weren't robbed. We weren't carjacked. We weren't stolen. The windows just exploded, all at the same time, as if Robert did it.
Wow. Okay.
There's also this one. My brother and sister-in-law and I went to Key West in 2021. Before we left, I made the drive to his house and stayed a few days. While staying there, the plumbing in his basement backed up, and he had to call out an emergency plumber. We saw Robert, and while I was tempted to take a picture, I did not. My brother thought the whole thing was silly, and while my sister in law and myself were respectful to Robert, my brother was making little jokes. I scolded him, and he piped down. When you leave Robert's exhibit, you are supposed to thank him. I thanked him, and my sister in law thanked him, and so did my brother, saying, "Thank you, Robert," in a sarcastic tone. Immediately after visiting the museum, we went back to the beach. My sister in law got a phone call saying that the plumbing in their rental backed up, as well as the plumbing from the other house. And when I came back from the trip, I found out my job was shutting down that week. 6 months later, my brother and my sister in law got a divorce.
Oh. Ouch. Okay. Sad day.
Let's see. My dad and sister and I went to see Robert. My dad, doing the typical dad stuff, was joking around and not taking Robert seriously, taking a picture without permission, stuff like that. Couple days later, when we were set to fly back home, and there's a major mix-up at the airport, the staff gave us completely wrong information about where we were supposed to go to get our checked bags and going through security. That causes us to miss our flight. My dad spent hours on the phone trying to sort it out, and the best he can do for us was a plane to New Jersey, spending a night there, and then fly home the next day. He wrote an apology letter to Robert upon arriving home. So there's little things and then there's big things.
Making a believer out of you.
Let's see. This one's really long. We're passing that one. Okay, this one is very interesting.
Okay.
I think. I want to hear your opinions about this one. I have said nothing but love to Robert. He's been a staple of my childhood sleepover parties, always having my friends tell the story of Robert. It meant a lot when I met him, and I made sure to greet him happy and show gratitude. Told him I've always wanted to meet him, took a picture with him after politely asking, and also wrote a thank you on the board afterwards. It even looked like he was smiling in the pictures. We have had nothing but a great vacation in Key West. Last night, I looked at this thread, noticing a lot of flooding and stuff as a result of meeting him. When I woke up after reading this thread, it turns out the place I used to work at that treated me poorly, the whole surrounding area was completely flooded from one of the ponds nearby. Like, completely demolished, the roads and everything completely uplifted. My entire town as well. That also did me dirty, completely flooded, and the psychiatric office around the corner from my house that I went to, and it ended me up in rehab and used me as a medical guinea pig, had a giant gas leak. I swear it was him giving me revenge in some way, shape, or form. Thanks, Robert.
Oh. So, like, the whole idea, I love this. I would love to see more of this kind of thing everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like there's just this local legend or this local
Yeah.
thing where it's like this spreads from everywhere or to the farthest corners of the world, but it's this one little random town in Canuck.
Uh-huh.
And it's got this like haunted item, or maybe there's like its own version of Bigfoot out there, or et cetera, et cetera. And it's like a cryptid.
Yeah, Robert does feel a lot like a cryptid.
Like it really does, and it's very interesting to me because there's no explanation.
Uh-huh.
It's just the idea of a curse.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, oh, I'm going to give you bad luck. And so sometimes he feels like a prankster. Sometimes he feels like a mischievous spirit that's literally built on just, like, pulling your pants down in front of your crush.
Uh-huh.
And other times it's like a vengeful spirit where it's like, oh, you angered me.
Uh-huh.
Like, you upset me. Time to die in a motor accident. Like,
right.
It's crazy because it really goes from 1 to 100. and there's every number in between of what this thing seems capable of.
Uh-huh.
So that's a really interesting idea as far as a curse goes. And then a cursed item that can also curse anyone that it wants to, like bestow its own
Oh,
curses,
yeah.
because there's a level of sentience there, is also very crazy and interesting to me, where it's like, okay, so you've given something cursed life, and then it itself can bestow curses upon to people
Right.
it so deems fit, even if they haven't done anything.
Yup.
That's the crazy thing, because in this last girl's story, none of them went to see Robert.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't like these people went to see Robert and he actively
Uh-huh.
bestowed curses upon them and gave them bad luck. It's he liked this one girl
Who did visit
who
him.
did visit him, and he decided to bestow gifts
Right.
onto this person of like, oh, okay, well, I am a spirit of mischief, so I guess we'll go flood their house.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what? Like, these people never met Robert. They've never been there. There's no
Mhm.
connection there, but some way through her,
Crazy.
it was able to affect other people's lives, which is just, because then it's like, could it be in a negative way as well? Like, if you went to visit Robert, but I didn't, could
Uh-huh.
he give me a bad day because you did something wrong? You see what I mean? Through
Right,
you, he
exactly.
gave me bad luck, even
Yup.
though...
Exactly, where it's like, it all really depends on how Robert's feeling that day.
Apparently.
So I have a couple more stories, and then I want to read some of the letters, because the
Okay.
letters to me are crazy. Just the idea of writing a doll a letter,
Mhm.
because so much stuff has happened that, like, you're like, if this works, you know,
Then
like...
that's great. I'll do it if it might work.
So this one, short. A lot of these are short and sweet. Like a kid in a candy shop, I could not wait to meet Robert. On Tuesday, I met him. The energy in that place is thick, heavy. I saw apparitions too, but didn't catch anything. I asked Robert if I could take his picture, and after being given permission, I snapped an excellent photography. Oh, it's photograph. I snapped an
such a great
excellent photograph.
photography. That's
I
so
did
good.
such a great photography. I then took the opportunity to explain to my friends the story of Robert. Then the atmosphere changed. I felt sick. We left and rode our bikes to the beach a little further up the island. I then proceeded to dislocate my knee.
Oh!
As I sit and write this, my knee is in an immobilizer. It was Robert, I'm sure of it. Don't ask.
Holy Cracker Jacks. Again, we have such a different interpretation of what he's doing.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
This is another crazy one. So, quite a few years back, I met one of my now really good friends on the internet. I am in Alabama and she is in Washington state. During some of the first few months of our friendship, we started discussing paranormal things and whether we believed in them or not. We were young teens, around 15 or so, if I remember correctly, and being that age, we hardly took anything seriously. So, we brought up the topic of Robert the Doll, discussed his origins, and then started poking fun at him. We made remarks about it being comical, seeing him run around through the windows if you were a neighbor, how scared we'd be if he was locked in the attic. I believe that's, yeah, and how his footsteps would have thrown us into sheer panic. However, as teens, we kept laughing about how we would make. Hold on.
You're good. Take your time.
However, as teens do, we kept laughing about him and making comments about how we'd stop him if he haunted us and such.
Oh.
All of a sudden, my phone started messing up. We were texting all of this back and forth, and my screen started blanking out her texts. Right as I was typing my text to tell her I wasn't able to see her messages, a message from her actually came through, saying that her phone was messing up. I cannot remember what her phone did, but I do know we were very frightened and immediately apologized to Robert. It honestly seems crazy, him being in Florida and us two being in completely different states. But to this day, I really feel like Robert didn't take too kindly to our teenage stupidity, interfering with our phones at the same time warning us to stop. And we did.
So you don't even have to be in the same room. Like, you don't even have to
They were just
interact
talking about him.
at all. It's just sweet. What a reach.
Okay, this is going to be our last story.
Robert's got him from anywhere. He's gotcha.
Right? Me and my wife and son took a trip to Key West, driving down from Orlando. During our visit, we heard about Robert, so we made a visit to the museum on our way out of town. My wife is very superstitious and was really nervous when we got to the Robert exhibit. I was teasing her, and I guess that pissed Robert off. When we went to leave, our car wouldn't start. This was a luxury car, bought brand new, and was less than a year old, so it was really taken aback, and my wife was freaking out. AAA arrives and tests the batteries. It's dead. He goes to remove it, and the battery connectors just crumble because they were so corroded. He says that he's never seen connectors that bad. He went to work on the car, and I went back into the museum to apologize to Robert. The museum staff wasn't surprised about the situation at all, saying it happens all the time.
I also love the amount of the energy that Robert gives off sometimes of like, put some respect on my name.
Respect my daughter.
Respect my daughter. That's so funny. The amount of just like, you will be polite or else.
Mm-hmm. So there was one story that I didn't read because it was a little out there crazy.
Uh-huh.
It was just a little bit of a ramble by the end of it, but it was a story of a man who had emailed Robert the doll, basically talking trash, being like, "I don't believe in you," like just a real nasty email specifically to Robert the doll.
Okay.
And he goes on to talk about how he the week after he sent the email, he goes on a camping trip with his then girlfriend.
Oh.
They are gone for maybe 2 weeks. Come back to their home, find out that they've been evicted. All of their belongings were moved out of their house to a storage facility. They tried to get into contact to find out what the storage facility was, but the people wouldn't tell them. They didn't get a clear answer out which warehouse it was in. Finally found out which warehouse it was in, and they said that all of their stuff had been sold because they didn't come and claim their items in enough time. Then they move in with a friend after all of this stuff is happening because they have virtually nothing now. And he ends up getting admitted into the hospital. Um it was admitted to the hospital for one reason or another. I want to say he broke a bone or something. And by the time he came back, his girlfriend was gone, and there was only a note left for him with the last bit of his belongings. His girlfriend had left, and there was a note saying that she had cheated on him with his best friend, and they basically left together with all of the last of his stuff. And then eventually this guy went on to, this is where it started to get a little bit like, oh my God. Because basically this guy was like, then I finally decided I was going to move out of my friend's house. I'd already been staying there a month. I felt bad. Goes to live in his car. Well, he's a diabetic, so he has a bunch of needles in his car and that sort of thing. And he had a machete from a job that he was doing in his car. Well, he gets pulled over and the cops arrest him because the machete counts as a concealed weapon and he didn't tell them about it. So he spends a year in prison, and then after his year in prison, he ends up moving in with a guy who's like making and selling meth, where he then starts an addiction.
Oh. So Robert
he said that all of this happened after he sent the email to Robert.
Ruined this guy.
Ruined this man over an email. Robert does not play.
Again, I love the energy.
Oh, you want to send me a nasty email?
Like, you thought you could get away with dissing me? You insignificant worm.
Literally.
Everyone will know what you've gone through. That's my torment to you, is I will make sure you are destroyed.
Robert
utterly.
Goes hard is basically what we're saying here.
He went the hardest. Like, not only did he take everything this guy had, he made his girlfriend cheat on him with his best friend.
Uh-huh.
They take off with almost all the rest of his stuff, sends the guy to prison,
he
and
was
then
in the hospital.
a hospital. Oh my, anyway, all right.
So now we're going to get into some of the
Insane.
letters that people have sent to him.
Okay.
Now, these are very interesting to me because of the way they're worded. These people seem pretty scared.
Nice.
So, first we're going to read the letter from Tracy S. Dear Robert, I came to visit you last spring, 2021. I was so excited to finally come to see you in person. I came alone and there was no one else in the area of the museum that day, so I was able to talk to you quietly alone. I read the letters that were framed inside your case and was so impressed that you were addressed by the President of the United States.
What? Sorry.
You sure are a popular boy. I had told you that I had told you that I had traveled such a long way to see you. I came all the way from Michigan. I had seen and heard so much about you that I couldn't wait to finally meet you. I remember telling you how handsome you were. I have the utmost respect for you and always have. During my visit, I did ask if it was okay to take pictures of only the area and objects around you, and that I promised I wouldn't take any of you. If for some reason any reflections happened to appear in any photos of you, I would not have ever intentionally tried to get them. I reviewed my pictures and never did see you in any of the photos. I respect your privacy. I was so impressed with the area and how the museum had designed the room with multiple letters and even a board to leave messages for you. I don't know if my visit upset you, as it was never meant to be. I even brought a small stuffed replica of you from the gift shop to take home because I think you are so handsome. Since my visit to Key West, I have experienced some very horrible events. I just hope they are not connected in any way to my visit, but if they are, please accept my humblest apologies for anything that may have offended you during my time there. I have such respect for you that I would never purposefully do anything to offend you. So please accept my apologies. You are an amazing boy, and I'm so happy to have been there to meet you in person. That's a lot, right?
That feels like you're tripping over yourself apologizing.
Right? It's like you are really like trying to apologize here.
Also, which president?
Right?
I
Also,
gotta
I
know.
will say I don't know how true this is, but I was doing my research. I read that Ozzy Osbourne in 2018 and 2019 attributed his health issues with Robert the Doll. I could fully be pulling that out of my ass. That could be not true at all, just as a disclaimer. But that was one of the things that popped up when I was researching him. There's another one that says, Dear Robert, I accidentally took footage of you. I am sorry. I should have asked permission. I will delete the video as soon as possible. I hope you can forgive me. So it's short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy C. says, My husband and I visited the museum December of 2019. My husband took your picture without asking. When we were leaving the museum, as I was going through the door, I felt a shock go across my shoulders. In January 2020, I was diagnosed with a severe illness and have not been well since. Things keep going wrong for me. I want to say we are sorry we took your picture without asking. Please forgive us.
All right.
Brian K says, I am so sorry I was startled to see you and did not intend to disrespect you. Our lives have been upside down this year. Please forgive me during my visit. Brian K.
Okay.
There's more.
I mean, I'm happy to hear as much as you want, or I'm happy to discuss something
I am.
about it. Whatever you'd like to do, it's your episode.
Okay. This one says, My name is Katie, and my fiance and I visited you at the museum in early 2020. We visited and learned about your story, and we deeply apologize if we disrespected you in any way. And I sincerely apologize for coming into your space without asking permission. We never intended to offend you, and I am very sorry if we have. We have been experiencing bad luck ever since, such as me having cancer and financial issues. And I
Oh,
wanted to apologize for any disrespect and hope that you can accept our apologies. Right?
now he's out here giving people cancer? All right.
I feel like the safest thing to do is to just not visit
Not go.
Robert the doll. Let's see. Dear Robert, about 11 years ago I visited you, and I made the worst mistake of my life. I thought it would be funny to take your picture without your permission. Boy, was I wrong. So much bad has happened in my life, and I know it's because I disrespected you. I am so sorry I did that. I really hope you can forgive me, Robert. Sincerely, Andrea. P.S. I saw you on Zach Bacon's show. You were great. A lot of like YouTubers and ghost shows have done
I'm
like
so certain.
this one says, Dear Robert, I would like to start off by apologizing to you for being rude and taking your picture without having your permission. When I initially asked you for permission and almost immediately started having chest pains, I should have known that it wasn't okay to take your picture. Again, I am truly sorry for not listening to you. Since visiting you about 3 years ago, my house has been struck by lightning 3 times. Also, a rental home I was scheduled to vacation at caught fire the night before I was to check in. 2 nights later, the rental home we were able to stay at was struck by lightning as well. Being with the Beginning with the flight home from our Key West trip after visiting you, my wife and I have begun to have problems with our flying. Our problem is that any time we fly somewhere together, one of our flights will be delayed. This has happened at least 4 times now. Also, our luggage has been destroyed once as well. I am very sorry for disrespecting you. Sincerely, Eric D.
Eric, you got off pretty frickin' easy, bud.
Your houses just keep getting struck by lightning.
Like, my guy, alright? You don't know. You don't know the other things that have happened.
Oh, and yeah, a lot of them are literally just that. It's just, I'm sorry, Robert. I didn't mean to disrespect you. Some of them tell kind of stories of what happened to them. Others are just apologizing, asking for forgiveness.
I love that this literally ranges from like a scraped knee to you have cancer now. Wow.
Mhm.
Again, just the sheer range of
Right?
these things that can happen are so broad.
And it's very hard because if you go to visit this doll and somebody tells you, yeah, he's been known to cause bad luck, any bad thing that happens to you is going to be attributed to him. But also at the same time, how many coincidences, you know?
Yeah, bad luck is definitely prevalent in the world.
Uh-huh.
And it's also whatever you choose to view as bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you can also always rationalize anything that happens. Because the whole point about bad luck is it's something that could have happened naturally, just a very low
Exactly.
chance of it happening. Like getting struck by lightning. There's a chance that just happens and it's just bad luck. And
Like, if that guy
sucks.
had never visited Robert the doll, would his house still have been struck by lightning, or was that caused by Robert?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the great question that's always going to be asked about Robert the doll.
Yeah. Or, again, like about almost anything that
Mhm.
causes the bad luck, too, right? Where it's these superstitions, the ideas of,
Mhm.
like, walking under the bridge, etc., or the ladder.
Uh-huh.
That's such a great concept
Like,
to like have it all, I think.
uh-huh.
Because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, if nothing else.
And there's crazy ones, like the guy banging on the glass and then later that same day
He just
dying.
gone, yep.
Like, insane. Like, it makes so much sense that it could have just happened anyways, but it's also like, what are the chances? That's such a coincidence. How much of coincidence do you believe in?
Yeah, like, what are the odds? If this is 1 in 10 billion, do you think it might actually be something
Mhm.
supernatural, or is it just something you're gonna count off as 1 in a billion chance that it did happen, but it did?
Mhm.
So it is like, I mean, even the superstitions are alive heavily with our crowd of Dungeons and Dragons,
Uh-huh.
where it's like, oh, this die is just going to dice jail. Got to put it in dice jail,
Oh,
even though it's
yeah.
just a random number that came up. But it's still just like, nope, nope. It's not performing well. It's not behaving today.
Put it in jail.
Put it in the jail. Wow. Like, I love the concept. And again, I wish that there was something like this for almost every town ever.
Like, it's just quirky and fun that it's like that your town has like the children of Key West are just casually like Robert did it when they like threw a baseball through a window or something. They're like, it wasn't me, it was Robert.
Yeah, and I like that he comes off as a prankster most of the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't like it when it's like, okay, death or you have cancer, But it is kind of funny when it's like, all right, you were a huge jerk to me. I
Uh,
love the story about the dude who lost his girlfriend and just his life was ruined because
I'll
he
tell you,
left
you
this
sent
super
me an email.
terrible message. And I was like, that feels so appropriately petty.
It's like, I ruined your life.
You know
And like,
what?
because that's the thing
You
too.
got
It's
in
like,
front of me on the freeway.
what's to say that Robert does every single one of those events,
Mm-hmm.
or just the event that kickstarts everything else into being awful? You
Right?
know, like the person with cancer. Maybe Robert just gave them cancer, and then
Yeah.
the financial issues came after that because of
Yeah, because you're having to pay cancer bills. No,
which is
that's
awful, by the way.
yeah,
I'm so
super awful
sorry.
if anybody is going through that right now. Um, but like what a you know what it feels like?
Huh?
It feels like if someone who was pretty petty
Mm-hmm.
had the ability to curse someone in real life.
Hey, 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 hey.
Buckley, that's enough. That's enough.
Buckley, done. All done. Come here. It's okay.
All done.
He was flopping around like a fish
He
out of water.
was that was really funny to
That
watch.
was really funny. Hi, baby.
I'm sorry, Papa, but that
It's
was funny.
okay. It's okay.
But like, could you imagine? Let's just say, you know what? Let's just say,
Uh-huh.
my mom, if she had the ability to curse everyone who was in her mind rude or
Incorrect.
would the whole
Oh.
town. I
Ooh.
think like there. I mean,
They would just have wet socks always.
everyone would have wet socks forever. You'd never be able to get used to it. Your pillow would always be hot. You would always be out of windshield wiper fluid when you needed to like
Yo,
get
when
the
you
bugs
needed
off
it
of
the
your
most. Oh,
windshields.
yeah.
You would get flat tires all the time. Like
It would be.
there would be so many things that I think like, oh, she would just delight in doing that.
Yeah.
Just being able to wish bad luck upon someone and it happens. It's so interesting to me and so fun. So yeah, I love Robert. This is so cool.
Are you gonna be now implementing an NPC in your D&D games of a doll or just a cursed object in general that is sentient
I
and
don't
like
I don't even think it's gonna be a cursed object. You know what it's gonna be? Instead of having high level NPCs, I might just put this as a tagline to certain NPCs
I love
where
that.
they have the ability to like it's just an automatic effect if you are rude or disrespectful to them, cursed.
Oh, like they can choose to do this thing to you.
Could you imagine if I did
So
that
good.
like to shopkeepers
Uh-huh.
and NPCs and you guys are like haggling and you could easily pay the money but you're refusing to because you're being stingy
Uh-huh.
and it's like cursed.
Right.
And it's like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, I get to determine the next few luck rolls that you have and I tell you what it is. You don't get to roll that.
Oh, that's rude.
That would be so fun. I would love that so much. And if you kill one of those NPCs for no good reason,
Oof.
oh boy.
Oofta, oofta,
I
oofta.
forever control your luck rolls now.
Well,
You don't get those.
I guess this is another question. What do you think Robert the Doll is? Because that's something that has been widely debated. Some people say it's like demons. A lot of people believe it's like black magic or voodoo. But again, there's a question of like if it is like a physical curse, why would it pass along to all of these different people?
I'm gonna say something that might come off as controversial.
Oh,
I don't think it's demons.
okay.
Because I feel like it's not evil enough. And don't get me wrong, terrible things that Robert has supposedly done. But when I think of like a demon possessed
Uh huh.
item, I would think the the nicest thing that this item's gonna do to you is kill you. The
Uh
nicest thing. And it probably will do far worse.
right.
But with Robert, sometimes again, I just feel like it's tricks. I feel like it's pranks. I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
really feels like a kid
it
almost.
feels like a child with the ability to just be like, I don't like you. You told me to go on the. You told me I couldn't have ice cream. after, you know, I got done.
You took my picture without asking me?
Yeah, rude of you.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna curse you. Like, I could 100% see it being just maybe the wayward spirit of some child who found this doll, and that is the thing that they inhabit, or, you know, manifested into, let's say.
Uh-huh.
I think, again, if it was like black magic or this dark, nasty stuff, wouldn't it have killed the kid who it was made for? Like, tormenting them, and by
But here's the
tormenting
thing.
them...
I guess here's the thing is that, like, the servant said that it was the parents who mistreated them, not Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, if, like, she might not have felt any ill will towards Gene, it was just his parents. In which case, they were just trying to scare them rather than, like, do any physical harm. Because, like, they died at a normal age, you know? Like, they passed away of old age. Like, it wasn't, like, a tragic accident or something.
Fair.
Like, I think it was more meant to psychologically torment and cause fear than it was to, like, do physical harm. But then if that's obviously evolved over time to, like, Robert isn't, like, again, that's the hard part of, like, if it's a curse. Because, like, if it's a curse specifically for those people, why is it tormenting other people now? Why does it
Yeah.
still have that energy around it?
And again, like, if it was gonna do that, wouldn't you have, like, I don't know, this is maybe it's just me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, let's say I'm a cursed object and it's my job to inflict as much psychological and mental damage as I can on a family. I'm gonna do a lot more than flip your table. Okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna find out your mom has cancer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a huge psychological trauma to
Yeah.
have on any family. And again, the financial burden that then comes with that, because you're trying to, like, cure the mom. And maybe, like, the again, like, oh, termites are eating away at the foundation of your home, which
Uh-huh.
means you don't have a house anymore, and you've got to deal with this. Maybe it would be, I had your boss fire you.
Right, like, they weren't completely ruined or anything. They
Yeah.
lived what felt like a normal life, you know?
And then, so, like, if that was the case, if this doll was made specifically to curse that family, he then randomly decides to just ruin some complete stranger's full life because he sent him a nasty email. You know what I mean?
Right,
Where it's like,
and that's
that
the thing is, like, it
feels...
feels like over time, Robert the doll gained more and more, like, independence and control. Like, maybe it started out, because how it started out was very simple. Like, classic haunted doll, we're not gonna stay in the attic, you locked me in, I'm going to my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, especially as those original people died, it feels like Robert got more and more and more mischievous. Like,
Fair.
it very much feels like whatever started as Robert was innocent enough. You know, not great, but not awful.
Trickster.
And then over time, Robert got that sentience and got to, like, do the things that he wanted to do, regardless of how he wanted to do it. You know,
kind of changed up for sure. And that is the possibility. Like, we don't know.
we don't know who is Robert.
But maybe a good thing to do. Say it with us, folks. We're sorry,
We're sorry,
Robert.
We didn't mean any disrespect.
No
Through
disrespect.
this podcast, we
Think
fully
you're
respect you.
mad cool, dude.
Hey, honestly,
Sure.
yeah, respect, honestly, for, like, the work you do.
Work. Oh no.
No.
I wouldn't say that. You know.
We're sorry, Robert.
We're sorry, Robert.
We're sorry. With that, we're gonna end this episode of High Fantasy. Like we said over on Patreon, we are going to do an exclusive episode that is only ever gonna air over there. So if you want to check it out, you can go do so over there. And if not, we hope you have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Goodbye,
Bye,
merry travelers.
Until next time.